No, thank you. No, thank you. No. Very, very thank you. We are here. Thomas-san, how are you? How are you? Very fine. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. So much. Sorry to keep you waiting for me. Okay. So, as I always mentioned about, see, exactly we are ourselves. Exactly we are ourselves. However, we don't know much about who we are. This is the most miserable. This is the most miserable thing. You see, we are exactly ourselves, but we don't know much about who we are. What thinking about ourselves is entirely different from what the true ourselves is. See, our true self, our true self is as the Zen Master Dogen, the teachers. See, complete and the universe. This is our true self. Not like what the other people thinking about themselves. That is entirely different. Our true self is just such a huge, tremendously huge one. Hi. Right now. Hi. That is our true self. So if you really want to realize who you are, see, who you are, please sincerely, please sincerely do Zazen for a while until you just encounter to yourself. See, definitely you can do it. Definitely you can do it. So for a time being, sincerely you sit. See, what the Zazen is? What the Zazen is? Whatever the thinking of a thought come up in your mind, simply, thoroughly just release as the. Although it is not necessary, although it's not necessary, but even I say it's not necessary, you'll never be able to accept what I said. So that until you just accept what I said, you just do it. Just thinking what's coming up in your mind. That is not what you think, what we just think about, but it, the thinking or thought is just simply just coming up in your mind without any reason, without any reason. See? What people think about because what think the thinking or thought coming up in our mind. This is totally misunderstanding. Totally misunderstanding. So till you release the thinking or something, then you'll be able to just realize, or you'll be able to just accept what I said. What's at the end of saying? Okay, excuse me. Excuse me. What I just say, what this title says, what this title says, when I face this, and I face simply face, and this is Nirvana, Nirvana. You see, it's the most strange, most wondrous things. See, when I face this, I simply just become this. See, why do I have to be? See, when I face this, I just become this. When I face this, I become this. You see, why do I have to be? You see, these things just happen wherever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. You should, only this are the movement, or this are the reality. Just happen. Only this reality, nothing anymore. Only this reality, nothing else, nothing anymore. The people just said, oh, the other see deceives. When the thinking or the thoughts just coming up, mind, that's a function of the thinking. That's the that's a different. That is another truth. That's the thing just coming up. Is happening in my. The function of the thing, function the testing, saving, and thinking. This is a function of the six senses. That's different. When you face it, you just become this. And at the same time, kind of thinking just come up. That's it. without any reason. You see, we don't need to have any reason when I just see this. See, this simply just we just become without any reason. You see, only this are the activity, this reality. You see, none of others. What we just think about something like the cause and effect, causes result. That's those things just happening only in your mind, in our mind. Nothing concerned with what's going on here. Nothing concerned with what's going on here. You see, never be deceived by your thinking or so. The reality is always as I face it. Always. Nothing else anymore. See? Very simple. Very simple. Then you just try to just think about what it is, what's the thing. It's caused you trouble. It's caused you the confusion. Before you just try to do something, anything. See? Nothing exists. Before I just face this, this one never exists. And this one, see, never exists as well. See, after recognize this, see, this one just come out. Then it almost same time this one come out. Then you'll be able to recognize this. See? Only that. Before you recognize this one, what you think about the self, ego, never exists. See? This is very important. See, people never understand. See what I say, even in concept. That's much people just they attach. People totally attach thinking or thought. But thinking thought is I don't deny the thinking thought. The thinking thought, as I just mentioned about it before, it's a wonder. It's a wonderful function, but that is not true. That is not true. What the reality, what the truth is, when I just become this, I simply, when I just face this, I simply just become as I face. This is the truth. This is a reality. See? At a time, at a moment, this one and this one never exists. This one and this one never exists. And then you recognize this, and then you recognize this, then kind of separation, discretion just happen between this and this. Then you can just recognize this. At the same time, you just recognize this. See, this is not a truth. This is not a truth. But what we just call the thinking or thought. See, this after recognition, that kind of things, only that kind of things just happen in our mind. So people before recognition. People never be able to realize before recognition. What's happened before recognition? What's happened before recognition? No separation. No separation between this and this. See? Oneness. totally oneness. We never able to just distinguish. We never be able to distinguish which is which. Then you recognize this, the kind of separation. Then you just recognize this. See, never be deceived. So, 59, it will, excuse me, it was Nirvana from the beginning is, see, this six. We don't know. See, when the Bodhidharma just came from India to China, the emperor just invited him to his palace, and then he asked the Bodhidharma, who you are, who you are. Then the answer is, I never be able to be aware of who I am. I never be able to be aware of what I'm doing right now. Even I don't know, I never be able to be aware of where right now. We are right now. See, this is our true self. This is true ourself. What you are thinking about the self ego, totally misunderstanding. Totally misunderstanding. That's a creation of the thinking of a soul, imagination of a thinking a soul. That's simply delusion, good delusion. So, okay, what it say is even if human views come out, you let them go without taking them up. Then this is only this way. You will be able to encounter true yourself. See, whenever, as I just already mentioned, whatever just thinking or thoughts come out in your mind. You see, thinking of thoughts, just thinking come out without any reason. So simply release them as they. This is totally enough. See, then someday, if you can do thoroughly, if you can do it, you'll be able to encounter truth. See, although always you encounter through yourself right now, right here, but you never just accept. You never be able to accept what I said. See, so that until you can accept what I say, you simply do zazen. See, Gary-san, skill meter, space is totally enough. And put a kind of cushion, if you have, put a kind of cushion, round cushion. They simply said, but fortunately, someday also, this 1 square meter space become whole universe. Very fortunate. Very fortunate. Yeah. Okay. So even if human views come out, you let them go without taking them up. This is if you can just the Shakyamuni Buddha or the patriarchs just recommend us to do this. In fact, what appear or disappear is itself an actual thinking of oneself. actual things of oneself. See, even so many thinking or thoughts just come out in your mind, but that is what you that is true right now, right? So you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. See, even so many thinking or thoughts coming up in your it. Release, release them as this is enough. See, if you can do it, if you can do it, see, as you'll be able to just satisfy with everything. You can just satisfy with everything. You feel great ease. Yeah, whatever, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. You see? Always, you are perfectly satisfied with everything. Okay, so that we have to do it. What we just thinking about self or ego is entirely different. You see, what you're thinking about the self or the ego never exists anyway. Only just exists. Only that exists in your mind. Only in your mind. That's quite much useless. See, and people just confused. People just think, oh, that is truth, that is a reality, that is a fact. And the people just try to deal with it. People with it. Just try to change it, try to erase it, try to put so many things. That's totally useless. Okay. So it is a real thing. It is a real things of the way, but you start dealing with it, whether it's good or bad. So things get out of hand, and it's cause you trouble. When you just start just dealing with, taking care of, and cause you trouble. That's it. Only that's the thing. So simply just release them as it is. This is totally enough. See, although it's easy to say, however, it's easy to, but it's difficult, especially the Westerner. See, especially Westerner, it's quite much for Japanese. Although modern Japanese people become westernized, so that thinking, too much thinking. Although as I said, I don't deny the thinking of soul. That's a very wonderful function. But see, thinking also what else thinking about is not true. Just simply come out without any reason. See, it's totally different from what we are thinking about. The thinking also, it's just totally different. See? so that we don't need to care much about the thinking or so. Just simply release or throw as the this is enough. Okay, abandon all things, leaving off the mind of selecting. In truth, it is not necessary to throw away. Even as I just mentioned, see, the things just happening. See, with six senses, when I face this, I just become this. When I face this, I just become this to before disappears without doing anything. See, this is such a wonderful, wondrous things. Without doing anything, I just become as I faced. See, this is wondrous. This is a wondrous movement, wondrous activities. Without doing, we can do. We can just become anything as I face. See, so abandon all things, leaving off the mind of selecting. In truth, it's not necessary to throw the senses. Even I say so, you never accept what I say. So this is a whole trouble, whole question. So you do that. Whenever just thinking, whatever thinking or thought just come out, see, comes in your mind. You just simply release that there. Then the more you do, the more you'll be able to, the more you'll be able to just recognize the difference between thinking or thought and reality, truth. See, you'll be able to just recognize it. That's the reason just to simply just throw them away, throw away the thinking also as the then you'll be able to just recognize the difference between thinking or thought and reality, truth. See? So that, I think we think about this, what was truth, but that is not a truth. So you'll be able to recognize, step by step, gradually. If you do that sadhana, so that, see, you don't need to, it's not necessary for you to hold or just take care of thinking or so. Simply you'll be able to throw it away without doing it. That's the reason for a while. See, whatever just thinking about that come up in your mind, just release them. Release them as then you'll be able to just recognize gradually the difference between thinking or thought and truth or reality. Then you just recognize the thinking or thought is not a truth, not a truth. So you don't need to, it's not necessary for you to just take it out, the thinking or thought completely. Then eventually, there is no separation. there is no separation between this and this. Until then, you just do it. See? As long as you don't do it, you'll never be able to just realize this truth or this truth. So that do it, simply do it. You can do it for yourself. Carry-san, 1 square meter space is enough. 1 square meter space is enough, not more. That's okay, you can do it by yourself. But as I just always mention about, see, thinking or thought is so sensitive, so delicate. So the people just they easily just be deceived. So that whatever you just have a question and doubt, just send an email to me and ask what it is. And then you kind of the question, and then the doubt will be disappeared. You just more, you can, the more you are concentrate, you'll be able to do, you'll be able to take care of the zazen. Okay. Okay. But there is nothing we can, abandon all things, leaving off the mind of selecting. In truth, it is not necessary to throw away, but there is nothing we can do about it. See, as I just mentioned, in fact, we don't need to anything. We don't need anything. See, with or by thinking our thought. Before we just think we wanna do, we have to do. Then and totally and finish. We just act. We just act. What we think we thought of, do we have to do? What to do? No relation. What do people thinking about? Because we thinking about what we have to do, we wanna do, then we can act. Totally misunderstanding. Totally misunderstanding. Okay. Okay, where is it? Okay. Because there is a core of selecting things, discarding is the practice. See, that's the reason, as I just mentioned, although it's necessary, it's not necessary for us to throw away anything. We don't have anything to throw away. You see, it's not necessary because our activity is nothing concerned with the thinking or thought. See, before we have to do, we want to do. See, before we think, what we can do is see, nothing concerned with what we want to do, we should do. We simply just act. We just concerning any thinking or so that we can do. It is said, as it is said. Oh no, as it says. Oh yeah. Discarding is a practice. We just throw away the thinking or thought. what a while, what a while, until you just, as I just mentioned, until you just totally recognize it's necessary. It is unnecessary for us to throw away anything. See, as I just mentioned, when I face this, and when I face this, this is our truth. This is the reality of our truth. Nothing concerned with thinking or thought. Nothing concerned with nothing concerned with thinking and thought. So that for a time being, we just throw away the thinking or thought of what we have to do or what we want to do. See, without thinking or thought, we can do. See, that's kind of thing, just that kind of condition, that kind of state just happen right now. You see, we just think, we just listen, we just think, we just simply listen to what I say. You see, see, our true self is, true ourself is totally different from what we just think about the self. Totally. So that's the reason. It's very hard to understand. That's totally hard to understand who we are. That's much. What do we think about the self or ego? So that's the reason we have to do only one chance within our life. See, only one chance within our life. We have to realize this truth, this reality. See? Any other occasion, any other chance, we never realize who we are, because only human beings have the function of recognition. This is totally necessary. This function is totally necessary. As I just mentioned about other lives, see, sentimental other beings. This is only this function. That's it. You see? No, the animals, what's called the animals, never be able to just recognize this. See, never be able to recognize this. Only human being able to just recognize this and this. You see? This function, totally necessary to realize who we are. See? Only one chance. Okay, the practice of Buddha Dharma, and the practice of Buddha Dharma is to discard all human positions, even human beings themselves. When I say so, people just think about, oh, that's too difficult, too difficult to do. See, but see, fundamentally, what we just self and ego never have anything, just thinking and thought of what we have, what we just possess. Just only thinking. We never have anything. We don't need to have anything. Then we'll be able to just do. we can do anything, everything. See? Understandable. But although it's totally difficult to understand what I say, even in concept, but just accept, then do that. Then gradually, you're able to just understand what I just say, what the Shakyamuni Buddha teach us. See, just do it. See? You'll never be able to just recognize, realize the truth while you're thinking or sort of concept. It's impossible. Just do that. The practice Buddha and the practice Buddha Dharma. Dharma is to discard all human position, even human beings themselves, because it's not unnecessary. What you think about what you think about a human being never exists, never exists. So that it's not necessary to just hold a grip that kind of a human being who is never who never exists anyway. So simply through the mind. Okay, and the practice, okay, because you have it on the basis of your view, your human body and mind. That's based on that view. Separate it. See, only what you think about the self or ego just exists, as I just mentioned, in your mind. Only in your mind. None of any other place, any other place. Only in your mind. Well, that's the only thinking or thought, what you think about the self or the ego. That's a thinking, creation of a thinking or thought. See, that is not a true. So that is a practice. So that, as I just mentioned, what's the praxis, what doesn't need, whatever thinking or thought just come up in your mind, simply release as they. This is a practice. This is practice. And this way, only this way, you'll be encountered through your. Okay, and if you do so, then, this is very important thing. So if you can do so, you totally, thoroughly, you just throw away what you think about the thinking or thought, or in other words, what you think about the self or the ego. Then what's happened? What's happened is, you are to and realize that it is Dharma. Oh, no, Dharma. Buddha, Bodhisattva, through yourself, you encounter through yourself. See, this through yourself is entirely different from what you're thinking about, the self or the ego. You'll be able to encounter through yourself. See, definitely. See, the way is through ourselves. See, so all chance. You have to encounter through yourselves. It is not that there is another way. See, only just you'll be able to do it. When you really understood the way, you found that it was Nirvana from the beginning. See, from the beginning. You see, totally. You are always, always, always. You are a Nirvana. And what's the Nirvana? The way. Nirvana. See? Complete and universal. You'll be able to just realize that. Complete and universal. Totally different from what you think about the self or ego. Okay. It is now there is an overview. Okay. Why from the very beginning is not necessary to do anything. See? Right here. See, when I face this, without doing anything, I simply become as I face. This is Nirvana. You see, this is the complete universal. You see, without doing, I simply just become this and this, without doing anything. See, such a marvelous, wondrous things. But you, totally different from what you're thinking about the self or ego. Our true self is the universal. See, even what the huge one or extremely tiny one, when I face that, I simply become that without doing anything. Such a huge thing, such a wondrous, marvelous. Okay. Oh, that's it. So that if you just sincerely realize who you are, we'd like to just recommend you to the Dazen. Whenever you're free, just simply sit. Gary-san, ask me totally nothing more. So that, as I just said, that's kind of time space become whole universe. You try it. This is very wonderful things. This tiny space become whole universe. Okay. Whole body like a mouse, hanging in space. What are the master of Zen master Dogen, and Nyojo, named Nyojo. That's the say this. See? Our true self is a kind of the bell, hanging in the space, universe. Then south wind, see, south wind blows. This just swing and no wind blows. And the wind just come, the blow. This one just swing to east. This one is extremely fundamentally totally free from everything, totally free from everything. So just move without any resistance, without any rejection. Just as it is, just as it. This is true ourselves. This is true ourselves. So you're thinking about what you think about the self and ego. The people just want to resist, resist whatever just happened. This is not the truth. True ourselves is so much flexible, so much flexible. Whatever happens, just become as it is, as it is. That's much flexible. This is our true self. That is, so our true self is completely peace, complete peace. See, that's the reason we have to just realize through ourselves. So we don't need to just create create what people say. Trying to try to make it a peaceful land, peaceful world. Although I don't deny it, but our true self is peace itself. Completely peace. So that the Shakyamuni Buddha or the patriarchs just recommend us to realize who we are. This is only one. So, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But we have another chance to talk to each other. So the day after. See you. Thank you so much. Gracias. Shuhei-san. Okay. Okay.